What's up, guys? Kobe here. Pandemonium has officially broken loose. Conor McGregor at it again. Can't say that I'm surprised. I did a video a short time back after the Bellator event. I've been talking about it for quite some time, and really what I would consider a fall from grace coming. Money, power, respect is what I titled the video. Not that I want to see this guy fall to pieces, but mo money, mo problems. And that is, at the end of the day, the root of all of this, and the stardom and the leverage and leeway that he was given and has been given by the UFC. They have a responsibility in creating this monster who is 100% driving himself into the ground. This isn't a publicity stunt. This isn't going to help sell tickets for Conor versus Khabib in Russia. This is a really, really bad look for the sport. There could be legal ramifications. And as well, Conor McGregor is probably going to be at the mercy of being sued by whoever was inside that van. Let's put it into perspective as to exactly what he did. He attacked a van full of fighters, of coworkers. Michael Chiesa was cut. His face was cut. He now has to be medically cleared to fight. What did Michael Chiesa have to do with this? What did he have to do with Artem Lobov in the hallway? What did he have to do with Conor McGregor's beef with Khabib? Nothing. He was just a passenger waiting to go finish his weight cut and get ready to compete. He might be off the card. We don't know. He has to get cleared now medically to fight. Rose Namajunas was shaken up. There were female fighters inside that van. This was absolutely insane. It was disgusting and despicable. And you can say, well, I like the sports entertainment component, and that was really exciting, and, it's going to bring all this drama, and all that stuff is true, but it's not a good look for the sport. As we continue to see Conor McGregor crashing and burning over 500 days since he defended his title, showing up at Bellator acting like a lunatic, being in clubs chewing his ear off, flying saucers for pupils, and people are wondering, is this guy taking drugs? I think it's pretty blatantly obvious what's going on with Conor McGregor. I'm not saying drugs are the problem, but I'm telling you, there are videos that have surfaced where the guy's fried. For anybody that's been involved in that life, you're looking in a mirror. He has some real serious issues right now, and the biggest one is ego. And that is really what is taking control of him in all of these situations. His larger-than-life attitude that he can do and say whatever he wants. And I'll tell you now that the UFC holds responsibility for this. That they have allowed him to operate and do what he wants and make his own decisions and call the shots. And everybody's kissed his ass. A lot like Ronda Rousey, who never lost control of her behavior. They will sit here to this day. She's in the WWE doing her own thing. And people are still rip Ronda Rousey apart for saying she's the best. How dare she say she's the best? Isn't that what great fighters do? They're confident in themselves. They'll blast Ronda Rousey, but they'll celebrate Conor McGregor chucking steel chairs through windows and vans, injuring fighters? This is insane. We watched Jon Jones derail his career. We have seen this time and time again. This is not specific to mixed martial arts. This is something that we've watched happen with celebrities, with athletes, with all kinds of famous people, all kinds of people with money, power, and what they perceive to be respect. That we put them in this position, we coddle them, we pat them on the back, we tell them they're the best, and then they run completely out of control, complete riot. Now, Khabib holds some responsibility, I guess a little bit, in that he rolled up on Artem Lobov with some people, and Artem had an opportunity in that moment to react, and if he wanted to hit Khabib or fist fight or whatever they were going to do, they could have done it. I don't think Khabib was quite there. I think he was delivering a message. He was saying, hey man, you called me a coward. I'm calling you out on that right now, while he's in the middle of a weight cut. Artem did nothing. And they come back with 30 guys and attack a van. A UFC employee's knuckle was broken. That's a lawsuit. Michael Chiesa can definitely sue Conor McGregor. Whoever was injured can sue Conor McGregor. There are a bundle of lawsuits that could be waiting for Conor. Mo money, mo problems. What has happened to him since he made this $100 million with Floyd? Absolutely nothing good. He's bought a bunch of shit that's useless. He's probably got 10 more Lamborghinis. He has a son at home. What kind of example is this guy leading at this point? You're a father now. You're also supposed to be a world champion. You're upset you're getting stripped from your belts. And this is how you're acting in return, like a grown child, as he was treated throughout his tenure with the UFC. Now Dana White's on record saying he's a criminal and a thug, and he doesn't know if he's on drugs. He doesn't know if he wants to be in business with Conor McGregor. This was all expected through the watching him make his own decisions, call his own shots, having his own way. The UFC wanted to make all this money off Conor McGregor, which they did. Conor McGregor made all this money. And guess what? It caused everybody nothing but problems. That's the root of all of this, money. It was the motive, and now it's everybody's problems. A horrible, horrible look for the sport. Just terrible. And his fans are actually backing this play. That is the more, I don't know what's worse. Conor McGregor attacking a van full of innocent people and injuring coworkers, other fighters that are cutting weight and have to compete in like a day here, 2 days, or his fans backing this play. Oh no, man, it's setting up Khabib and Conor in Russia. No, it's not. It's absolutely not. This is it, man. And another point is that when these guys do this crap and they get away with it with a slap on the wrist, then there's no consequences. The next thing happens. It snowballs. Slap on the wrist, next problem. Slap on the wrist, next problem. We watched it with John Jones. So Deathstroke says this actually good for the UFC, bad for Conor. It's good for the UFC, I guess, if they're going to move on and handle it the right way. But Conor has been losing fans and support since the Floyd Mayweather fight. People are not really supporting his moves anymore. I don't know. Derek says fake stream. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Fuck this. So Derek, you're a fan of Conor McGregor? You support him attacking female fighters in a bus and injuring people? Is that what we're saying here? Is that where we're going with this? Please let me know if I'm offside. If you think that this is a good look for mixed martial arts, which is, I mean, we understand there's going to be some entertainment value to this. And yes, that can make it fun. And yes, that can, hype up the fights and sell more tickets. I'm all for that. I enjoy that component of the fight game too. But there's a line. There's a line that it was crossed here. Sorry, thought you was a fake stream. Okay, Derek, I just wanted to understand your perspective. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. If you do support Conor McGregor in this, you do. I can't change the minds of other people. I'm on Twitter talking to this guy who I've been talking to for like 2 years about fight stuff, and he's actually a smart guy. And he understands the sport pretty well. He can break down fights, but he's got this Conor McGregor fandom that is just unbelievable. Like, he could murder a family of 5, and 3 of them could be children. He'd be like, well, the champ does what the champ wants. Derek says, I hate Conor for this. I'm English. He has ruined tomorrow. He has put a huge dark cloud over what was said to be a great event. And I think he's angry for a bunch of reasons. And that the UFC were actually going to finally strip him of this belt. They gave him up until the first punch was thrown. That was going to be the real number. Like, when they were going to take that belt was up until the first punch was thrown. That belt should have been taken a long time ago. So he's probably angry about that, right? I've built this. I want ownership. I want this. This guy's telling Dana White and the UFC that to come back, he needs a stake in the company, and he's injuring female fighters or male, whoever, injuring fighters in vans 2 days before a huge event. If he really wanted a piece of Khabib and to pay him back for rolling up on Artem Lobov, all he had to do was say, all right, if Khabib wins, I'm taking the winner. Let's do it in Russia. Everybody would have been all about that. Everybody would have been all about that. But he didn't do that. He did exactly what he needed to do to not fight Khabib. He's losing the support of Dana White, of the UFC, of his co-workers, of his people, of his fans. There are those out there that are still going to support him, and that's okay. That's their prerogative. But at the end of the day, he is on a collision course with jail or rehab, one or the other. I believe that he's on drugs for sure. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful. If he has an addictions issue, it would answer a lot of questions. And if that is correct, I would hope that he can deal with that, if that's the case. I believe it to be true, but I'm not Conor McGregor, and I'm not asking him for a piss test. I just know this erratic, out of control, nonsensical behavior is coming from a whole bunch of different places, and one of them could be substance abuse. Derek says he approached It's so wrong. Dana is disgusted. You can tell. Surely he is finished now. For sure he is, man. And I think they were preparing for life after Conor McGregor already. I think that they were starting to do that. They were really pushing Khabib. They were pushing the other fighters. They were doing pressers with O'Connor. They were exciting. Fans were getting into it. They were really starting to move on and preparing for what the UFC would look like post Conor McGregor, which for a lot of us might have been a little bit a good change, right? To get away from the money fight. Derek says it was like watching someone high on cocaine. High on cocaine, high on power, high on ego. This guy is just out of control. Out of control. He needs serious help, man. He does. There were reports that he was going to be arrested. There were warrants out for his arrest. He was arrested. I don't know if any of that's true, but I'm telling you now, he has money. And when someone fucking hurts you and you know that they're paid and they got lots of money, guess what? You're getting sued. Everybody knows Conor McGregor made $100 million plus against Floyd Mayweather. Conor McGregor breaks someone's knuckle. Guess what? That person's going to sue Conor McGregor. He's going to have multiple lawsuits after this. Multiple lawsuits. If he isn't arrested and charged. I'm just floored and blown away, man, that he would go to the Barclays Center and pull this. Unbelievable. Yeah, you know what? Like I said, Khabib rolled up on Artem Lobov and he got in his face a little bit and he big brothered him, kind of tapped him on the back of hauled him by the back of the head and just kind of said, "Don't say my name again." He pulled a little tough guy thing, but again, Artem Lobov could have dealt with that in the moment, but he didn't do that. Artem Lobov is now off the card. This guy is lucky he's even in the UFC to begin with. He's there just because of Conor McGregor. And now he just got himself chucked off a monster card in a great fight against Alex Caceres that could have been really enjoyable. Artem Lobov is done. He's not fighting. He's probably going to be cut. Jamie says, is there any news of Chiesa still fighting or not? That's something I mentioned earlier. If he suffered multiple lacerations, he will need to be cleared by a doctor in order to fight. So there's a chance that Michael Chiesa doesn't fight. Guess what, Conor McGregor? Lawsuit. If Michael Chiesa loses his opportunity to fight, Conor McGregor is going to get sued by him too, unless the UFC pays him off. Derek says he ruined at least 2 or 3 fights tomorrow. He shook up a lot of people, man. Those fighters are in that van. They're cutting weight. They're getting ready to compete. Like, this just threw everybody's psyche off. It caused so many problems. It was disgusting, man. Like, we want this sport to be legitimized and accepted across the board, and we want the martial arts component to be recognized and accepted, like I said. But when you have this stuff going on, it ruins it, man. It ruins it. He should have been punished after the Bellator event, and he wasn't. He got away with it, and now he's back at it again. Deathstroke OG says, he hurt Rose. I'm pissed. I think she's all right now. She was more mentally, hurt by the situation. You're sitting in a van, you're cutting weight, and there's fucking steel chairs smashing through windows. You're getting hit by glass or hit by pipes or whatever they're throwing. The Mac Life team opened the door and let that crew through there. They're going to lose all their credentials. They're screwed as well. Dana White is really, really upset. Excuse me. Derek says Rose nearly broke, and I hope Barry can get his hands on him. As Irish asked a lesson and humble himself. He needs to be humbled. There's no doubt about that, man. I was coming home to do a Max Holloway Khabib breakdown. That was my plans for tonight, and then to go to the gym, and then this happened. So I kind of had to come on to speak to it. I was a little surprised to see how many people were supporting Conor on Twitter and stuff like that. Disgusting, man. It's disgusting. How can you support this type of behavior as grown adults? You want this to be a sport? You want it to be accepted, recognized? You want it in the mainstream? We wonder why it took so long to get into New York? This guy pulls this crap? Brutal. Deathstroke says her knuckles were almost broken. There was a knuckle broken of a UFC employee. If anybody has any updates, please feel free to share them in the live chat. I should have the regular chat on my normal channel back soon. It's going to be this month. I'm not going to stay on here too long. Derek says the Mac Life are in big trouble. So Snake, he disrespected the whole UFC and their trust. It's a great point, Derek. It is. It's a really, really good point. You opened the door. You let them in. You knew trouble was brewing. You knew trouble was coming. And you basically greenlit the whole situation. So their credentials are gone. And the real sad part about this is when it all blows over, if there's enough money to be made on the table, this probably will be overlooked. That's the saddest part of this situation. And that the UFC moving forward has to understand that they need to find a way to keep their stars in check. Whether it's John Jones, whether it's Conor McGregor, whoever it is, that these larger-than-life athletes in the UFC that are fighters, they need to be taken care of correctly. They need to live and abide by the same standards as the rest of the fighters. And whatever clause that the UFC has on behavior, it needs to be implemented, accepted, and it needs to be widely regarded as universal. Derek says, maybe a charge. Yeah, there's a possibility. What do you think the UFC will go with Conor after this? As bad as it is, I think he will get to fight this year. I don't know about this year. We have to see how many lawsuits there are. We have to see if he's going to be arrested. I don't know, man. A lot of people are soured by this. Conor was already losing fans by the bundle. I pay really close attention to the comment section of articles and videos just to hear what fans are saying. And I can tell you that this is the lowest point with Conor McGregor. This was a guy that I think came from a tough background, didn't have a lot of money, rose to the top, took all these tough fights. He was this legend from Ireland, this warrior, great striker, finishing opponents, had a great trash talk game, made all this money, got given all this power, and now here we are, watching him completely self-destruct at the same time. Watching him derail his career in life as we speak. This dude is Truman Show, and it's like the rated R version. This is not good. Deathstroke says people are going to get chunks of that Mayweather money. Oh, you better believe it, baby. You're breaking bones. You're cutting people's faces. You're getting sued. Ain't nobody going to sue me because they got nothing. I got nothing for you, but he does, and everybody knows it. And you look at like him throwing the water bottles and what he did at the Bellator event. He has not learned. He has not grown up. He has not changed. He has not accepted responsibility. He has not become humble. He has not looked at any of these past behaviors and said, wait a second, I need to handle myself differently. I need to act like a world champion. I need to be a good example for my son, or maybe lead by example for this sport, to be a martial artist. What does his coach, John Kavanaugh, say about this? Does he come up with some way to co-sign? Oh, Conor, blah, blah, blah. Like, I can see it now. I can see John Kavanaugh making excuses for this guy as well. I honestly don't think I can be a fan of him again after tonight. Derek, I've been losing. I still respect his game as a fighter. If I'm doing it like an analysis piece or I'm breaking something down, he's a fantastic fighter. He's not the best fighter in the UFC, but he's a really good fighter. He's a world class. But the personality, as a fan, I've completely lost it a long time ago. I encourage you to check out my video, Money, Power, Respect. Are we seeing the fall from grace with Conor McGregor? I did a whole piece on this months ago, talking about him losing control and this all going down the tubes. And then this happens today. Deathstroke says if he loses all his money and starts fighting again, that would be good for him. Definitely, man. Money has done nothing but cause this guy problems. Jamie says he was actually the one that threw the object through the window that damaged Chiesa. There you go. Michael Chiesa is now a millionaire. Absolutely Dreadful says best case scenario for Conor. Flees to Ireland by private jet, ducks Khabib, and gets to be a hell of a lot more relevant. But relevant for the right reasons? I don't know, man. There's a time and a place. And drama can work for you or against you with hyping up a fight and selling the narrative. It can, right? We've watched it really be on Conor McGregor's side throughout the narrative of his career. But there's a line. There's a line that he's crossed now. Now it's getting totally cringeworthy and dangerous. He's hurting people. Leon says too real for America. I don't know if that's it. America's got enough violence and greed and problems of its own. I mean, There's nothing real about injuring people that you work with. Like, if you rolled up on Khabib one-on-one and started throwing down in the street, and that was your decision as a grown adult to do that in the middle of the road, okay, I guess I could respect. That to me would be real. What is real about throwing a chair through a window full of your coworkers and peers with female fighters in the car? To me, there's nothing real about that. You notice when something happens, all the greedy Yanks want money. Well, I think anybody is going to want, if you get injured by Conor McGregor, of course you're going to want money. Who wouldn't want money in any country? Deathstroke says he made his money in America and is losing it here. That's a really good point. Derek says he acted like a little bitch and now he's throwing objects at the bus, being too real. Yeah, not real for me, man. Michael says, why do you think he did that? It was in response to the Artem Lobov situation, in response to him getting stripped, in response to his thinking being completely offside, whether that be him using drugs, whether that be him just tripping on his own ego, whether him feeling that he's larger than life. This is somebody that feels that he plays by his own rules. And this has all been a building up of a process throughout time. This is him getting to make his own decisions with picking fights. This is him, making tons of money in the process. Everybody patting him on the back. Everybody telling him he's the best. It's ego, man. This is all ego. Nathan says he doesn't want Khabib one-on-one. This was the best way for him to not get Khabib. This was the best way for him to push himself away from the fight. And Dan Hardy said the same thing on Twitter. Steaming says, not a surprise, just another European man assaulting women and acting like an animal. I can't say anything negative against any specific race or culture. I can't tell you what to think, but I will tell you he did assault some people, and some of them were women, and he was acting like an animal. Leon says Americans shoot kids. Yes. Like I said, Leon, there's a lot of violence in that country already. And you know what I mean? Sports for people is a pastime. Mixed martial arts is something we enjoy. The building up to the fights, the narratives, the trash talk. It's all entertaining. It really does help. I enjoy that part of it too. But when do we say, okay, enough's enough, we've crossed the line? Have we not crossed the line here when we're injuring Michael Chiesa? UFC employees? When you're hurting women in buses? Steaming says Europe. Okay, well, can't really read that comment. I don't know, man. I'm just blown away. I'm just blown away and disgusted, but not surprised, because I called this. I did a video stating that we were going to see a fall from grace. I framed it more of a question, but for me, it's really been a statement. I've been watching this happen for the past year, really. Derek says, I am from London, and you're damn right. Deathstroke says, you're American in your heart, Kobe. Well, guys, I'm not going to stay on much longer. I just wanted to speak to this. I hope some of it made sense. I mean, at the end of the day, what can you do? I think that, hold on, let me read this comment from Nathan. There's idiots in every race and country. Conor McGregor is an idiot. He's not the first, and he will far be from the last. Great points, Nathan. I totally agree, man. I totally agree. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. In the description section will be my main channel. I do have some cool breakdowns, video highlight ones up on this channel, but I'm going to go back to my main channel tonight and do a Khabib Max Holloway piece. I'm going to be the elephant in the room and just tell you that as much as Max Holloway has a chance, because every fighter does, this is a horrible stylistic matchup for him from a technical standpoint. Deathstroke, my dude, thank you so much, man. I'm going to get that mouthpiece out soon. I should be able to pick it up next week. I'm back in the gym, baby. I'm doing a boxing match in late May. Super excited. Derek says, it was very good to watch this. Thank you for your time and thoughts. Yeah, I'm trying to get this live stream back up and going. Consistency was a bit of an issue last year, but something I'm working on personally. I'm a breakdown guy, but I'm going to continue to come on the live stream and let you guys get your thoughts out there as well, because I think that's important as well. You know, not for me just to sit here and talk, but to be able to communicate with you and get your perspective, because there was some good stuff here said today. Certainly Nathan's comment in closing, I think, was the best. That there's idiots in every race and country, and Conor McGregor is an idiot. Not for he's not the first and far from the last. That is going to do it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, give the like button a smash. If you want to hear more, subscribe. And as always, check back to my channel for the best in MMA news and technical analysis. It's your boy Kobe checking out for Windsor, Ontario. Peace.